Indiana winners 83-78 over Penn State here at Simon Scott Assembly Hall. Peegs.com's Trevor Andershock, Jerry Kelly here to break it all down. Trevor, that was not the best performances from Indiana, especially that first half. But second half, once again, really turned it on. A 22-10 run from Indiana down the stretch seals the deal. Hoosiers needed to have this game for NCAA tournament purposes, and they pull it out.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising looking back on that first half where it was really, rocky for both teams, but both teams shot really well. There were just a ton of turnovers. It felt like whoever took care of the ball, better in the second half would win. But instead it was just basically IU shooting their way to victory. They go 10 of 15 from three. Only the second time all season they make double digits beyond the arc. They made 12 against Rutgers early in the year. So that was definitely a surprise. Trey Galloway hits 4 of 5 from three, two big ones to put IU ahead. I thought that was kind of the surprise. IU's three-point shooting really carried them to victory tonight.
Yeah, it wasn't just the volume either, because obviously the volume wasn't too high, but Indiana was pouring it in. Miles Rice had a big three late in the game in the corner as well. Going into this game, it was weird because we didn't see Malik Renew. He wasn't on the availability report. We're wondering where he is. Turns out he was ill, and then Mike Wisden said post-game that Renew was transported to the hospital. So it meant Oumar Ballo had to play significant minutes, 36 minutes for him tonight. He was huge, 20 points, 12 rebounds, had a key offensive rebound late too.
Yeah, another huge game, another huge double-double for Oumar Ballo. That offensive rebound with about a minute left, I believe it was on a Trey Galloway deep three late in the shot clock. Ballo goes and gets it. I thought that kind of sealed the game. Obviously, Penn State still had a chance on a Zach Hicks three, but they get through that. But I thought the Ballo rebound was just huge in the moment. Overall, he was such a steady force for IU. They were able to pound it into him time and time again. First half, second half, whenever they needed it, it seemed like he got a good seal on the block. He does a great job of drop-stepping while he catches the ball for a dunk. You see that time and time again. And, another great performance. Going back to Malik's health, obviously very scary that you have to go to urgent care or the hospital for an illness. And we've seen this run through the Illinois team. They've been battling for about almost a month now, player after player getting severely sick and really affecting them. We'll see if IU can keep that contained and not let it run through their team.
Yeah, especially as they go west for 6 days in that 2-game road trip. You definitely don't want that. Indiana, the winning lineup combination, if you will, has continued to work for them. Miles Rice was in there tonight, Trey Galloway, Anthony Lill, Luke Goody, Oumar Ballo. I guess you can kind of interchange Ballo and Renew in that lineup, but it seems like they found something there with those five, especially down the stretch, especially when they need big stops and big buckets.
Yeah, that group really seems to click. I mean, you're putting in a little bit more defense when you take out McKenzie and Balco, put in either a Leal or Luke Goody, whoever you want to kind of sub in there. But I thought Miles Rice's defense in the second half on Ace Baldwin was fantastic. Baldwin scored, 20 points, 10 in the first half, and then 10 really early in the second half. Looked like he was going to control the game. They switched Miles Rice onto him and really shut him down. He only gets 2 points off a couple free throws that were kind of iffy on the foul call. And so I thought his ability, his quickness bothered him. And then he was really physical. Second straight game where he was physical with the opposing point guard. Last game, obviously, was Braden Smith. Tonight, Ace Baldwin. When he's physical, he's quick enough to stop pretty much any point guard in college basketball from getting to the paint. So you combine that with his physicality that he showed in the second half tonight, makes him a really tough defender. And I think that's a big part of that winning lineup that you were talking about.
And it seems, too, with Rice, Trey Galloway has taken on a lot of the playmaking responsibilities, lead point guard, or lead ball handler duties lately. It seems like it's kind of taken the load off of Rice's shoulder. He plays a little bit more free now. Have you seen that?
Yeah, definitely. I've always thought, throughout this season, I thought Trey Galloway and Miles Rice should play together. Just kind of a dual playmaking threat. Rice does like to play off the ball. He's learning to play better off the ball too. I mean, he's cutting to the basket more, not just spotting up from three. Obviously, not a great shooter, so he needs to find ways to get easy buckets when other teams kind of double away from him or help off him. And I thought he's doing a better job of moving without the ball to get those easier shots. And I think it's been helping IU overall, get more movement, get easier shots, and kind of cut down on some of the scoring droughts. Obviously, again tonight, another 4-minute scoring drought for IU in the first half. They're one of the teams in high major basketball. I think they're top 5, maybe even higher than that in 4-minute scoring droughts on the offensive end. Obviously, something needs to be fixed there. Getting pretty late in the season to fix anything, but Miles Rice's movement is helping that a little bit.
Certainly, and Indiana now, NCAA tournament purposes, obviously got back onto the bubble with the win over Purdue, and then tonight sort of solidified their case. 3 big games coming up here to end out the regular season, Trevor. Got to take care of business on the road, which will not be easy on the West Coast. We've seen Big Ten teams struggle there. But Indiana is really good form lately. Past 3 games, at least, they've looked pretty good. How does Indiana kind of continue this going out west?
Well, I think you really, like you said, going out west is not the easiest thing. First time for IU to do that. And, you start off with Washington. I think that's kind of better for IU. Start off with Washington. It's a must-win game. Obviously, the Huskies are struggling this year. They've had some good performances here and there. They're a capable team of beating IU, but if IU plays like they did tonight or against Purdue, they're going to get it done. Then you're kind of playing with house money against Oregon. You win that game, you might be a 10 or a 9 seed if you win that game. But just kind of building on this defensive effort, having Rice be physical on the opposing point guard. Obviously, we'll have to see what Malik's status is going forward. But I think they really found something with that lineup, like you said, kind of a closing lineup tonight. Kind of lean on that a little bit more. Hopefully start Miles Rice. I was very surprised he did not start tonight. But I think that will be something to look at going forward.
Now, I believe Indiana flies out on Thursday to the West Coast, and they won't get back until probably early Wednesday morning after the Oregon game. But the Hoosiers, for now, keep their NCAA tournament hopes alive with a much-needed win over Penn State here at Assembly Hall. For now, it's very late. Trevor and I got to get home, but we'll have much more to come on Peegs.com. Trevor Andershock, Jared Kelly, we'll see folks. Much more to come on the site.